Hey, another beautiful, amazing day to all people of the way. Welcome to yet another edition of Truth Talk Tuesdays.
Absolutely, my love. And today's topic of discussion, we have chosen to speak about sovereignty and what it means to live in a sovereign state of mind and being, and how that allows you to create the reality that you desire.
Yes, and how living as sovereign individuals allows for us to manifest the results that we want in each and every aspect of our lives. And we are presented with a lot of challenges in today's day and age because of the very disconnected and disjointed society and world that we live in. We're limited in a variety of ways from the very beginning of our being raised as children, because unfortunately, society tends to place very negative and limiting programming and conditioning on our minds. And it can be very hard to see that at first. You start asking yourself as you're moving through life, you're experiencing dramas and problems, and you really don't understand why these things happen the way that they do. And that's most people. Most people just move through life and allow for the chips to fall where they may, but that's not really what it means to be in control of your circumstances, is it? That's not what it means to, it's not what it means to be sovereign. To be sovereign is to be completely aware that you, as a unique vessel for universal intelligence and wisdom, you can manifest the reality that you want. You're in complete control of doing so, and you have every ability to carry that out. So, what are some of the things that can limit us, Samantha, in our pursuit of sovereignty today?
Well, I think the first thing that I would definitely say is the case of not trusting yourself, the case of not
it's massive. Yeah.
yourself and not really loving yourself either. We are brought up in a world where we are told to sit down, shut up, and just listen to what we're being told. And that, from a young age, is embedded in our mind that we don't have a voice. We are always dependent on other people to tell us what we can and can't do. And that is what we grow up believing. So I definitely feel that the first thing that we need to tackle in becoming sovereign is realizing that you do matter and your thoughts matter, and to trust yourself, to believe in yourself, and to love yourself. Because if you don't, then who will? Really?
Yeah.
Your life is your own, and you should be the one making the decisions for your own life and what it is that you want to do. So we are very much dependent on seeking clarity, right, from other people. We are dependent on always asking someone, what do you think about this, before you do it? But I guess the funny thing also about that is when we do ask for confirmation from people, more likely than not, we're not seeking for their opinion, but we are seeking for confirmation on what it is that we actually want. So if somebody goes against what it is that you actually want to do, you seem to turn around and be like, oh, but I don't like that. Like, I like what I was thinking before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, go on, expand a little bit.
And absolutely. And, like you were saying before, it really has to do with what we think, how we really think and feel about things. And that has to do with our subconscious mind, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Sovereignty and really the pursuit of spirituality, the pursuit of truth, beauty, and love is really all about what lies in our subconscious mind and how we really think and feel about things. It's really a journey of mastering our subconscious mind in order to achieve super consciousness. of who and what we are and how we want to live our life. That's ultimately the goal of spirituality, is mastering the conditioning that will allow for us to live with even more awareness, to live with even higher levels of consciousness.
Definitely.
So yeah, when we start figuring out what it is that we really want out of life, what it is that matters most to us, we start caring more about that. And when we start taking action on the things that we care about, the way in which we want to live our life, our energy increases. And Samantha also mentioned this as well. Our voice becomes stronger. There's a lot of power here. A lot of energy comes out in a voice of someone that lives in alignment. And most people, because they don't know who they are, have a very scattered energy. They're not grounded. They're not rooted in, not arrogance, not an overconfidence, but a simple knowing that they live truthfully. They live in alignment with what is true for them. And that's really the difference between arrogance and confidence. Arrogance is a combination of pride and ignorance, whereas confidence is a combination of love and awareness. It's just a simple knowing that you have clear what is true for you and you live it without compromise.
Absolutely.
And the power comes out in your voice.
It does.
Samantha and I, we've been on this journey for quite some time, and that's why maybe once upon a time we wouldn't have been able to have conversations with you like this. Again, we were very critical of our voice. We were very critical of ourselves, but that very calm, grounded knowing and awareness allows for the vibration in our voice to powerfully project itself. Language is simply a way in which the vibrations in our voice are understood by our mind. But our voice is a very powerful thing that carries the vibration our spirit is resonating at. And so when we speak, we have the power to connect and inspire other people through the conversations that we have. And that leads us to one of our next points, the importance of having conversations like this that lead us to even more clarity and even more awareness surrounding how we really want to live our lives. When we connect with a mentor of ours or someone that inspires us, we are impacted in a very profound way by the courage that individual has. We rest in knowing that all of the challenges, despite all of the things that person may have gone through to achieve that level of confidence and grounded awareness, he made it out okay.
I would say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he or she made it through those challenges successfully, and they reassure us that we can as well, that is not something that is unique to them. And we hear it in the way they speak to us. We feel it, more importantly, in the way that they communicate with us. It's one of the most powerful tools that we have to make an impact on the world around us in order to bring the best out in the people and the circumstances surrounding us. So yeah, despite all of the things that challenge us, we just want to reassure you that it is worth it. At the end of the day, no matter what challenges you may be facing, no matter what limitations you feel you may have, you can rest in knowing that it is absolutely worth the challenges. It is worth going through this journey because you're able to live even more fully, and the power that you will gain will be worth it by far.
Definitely. And
So,
I will add backtracking just a little bit, in people being able to connect to their spirit and in living in truth, they first have to be aware of what their spirit is. Because I know in my own personal experience, only a couple years back, I didn't know what my spirit was. I didn't know really who I was. And it wasn't until the pursuit of finding my spirituality that I realized that I am a spiritual being living the human existence. And therefore, I was able to then tap into the subconscious and start awakening it, right? Because most of our life we live unconsciously.
Lighting that spark that lies within you.
Definitely, because you have to awaken your consciousness and start coming from a space of consciousness, not from unconsciousness. And that's, as you said, that mastery of the consciousness is what it's about, right? And I just think that's really important, because if people are not aware that they are a spiritual being, then they're only looking at themselves from a 3D point of view. We really want to get into that deeper understanding of what we are at our core, because once you realize that you have this spirit, right? We have a 3D costume that we wear, but that is not truly who we are. This is how we can express who we are in the way that we dress, and the way that we look, and the way that we speak. But deep inside, it is your spirit. And to be able to connect with your spirit and to be by spirit throughout your life, it's what makes all the difference, isn't it, my love?
Absolutely.
Being able to be guided by your spirit and your intuition, because and again, that we must trust ourselves, we must believe in ourselves. Otherwise, a lot of people, they feel that they know their intuition, right? You get that gut feeling in your stomach when something bad is going to happen. And a lot of times, many of us are able to avoid, getting ourselves into bad situations because we listen to that gut feeling. But that is only the very first step. It really is. It's only the very first step, and it's present in our body and we feel it. And if we are in tune with that, we are able to protect ourselves. And so it's learning how to tune in even deeper to understanding the way your spirit and intuition communicates with you through your body, through your surroundings, through the people that come into your life, because it's all connected. Everything is connected. I don't know if I should expand upon more in regards to intuition right now. I think that's probably a whole topic of itself.
It is. Yeah.
It really is. So I think we'll save that for another time, talking about intuition. But being able to know oneself and to know your spirit and to live consciously is the way that will lead you to sovereignty. You really have to understand that first. You have to feel it.
Yeah, that's it. And like you said, it is transcending the immediate and direct 3D level of awareness, which is just the material. It's this flesh, this body.
Yeah.
And moving beyond the thinking and understanding that that's all there is. No, there's actually much more than that. There is a level of spirit to your being. There is a level of awareness behind the thin veneer of materialism or the material world. And it's merging the one with the other, the 3D and the 5D coming together. And that is mastery. That is a mastery of sovereignty once you have done that. It's the figure 8. It's going up into our spirit and going back down into the material world, sharing the lessons that we've learned up here, down here. And that's mastery. When we have gone within, we start manifesting without. As the Bible says, we have the kingdom of heaven within us. And when we access that and we get to know that for ourselves and what it means for us as sovereign individuals, we are then able to manifest the kingdom of God without. That's the whole essence of that teaching. As within, so without. As above, so below, and so on. as the universe, so the soul. It's the merging of the 3D and the 5D coming together with the way that we live our life. And when we have done that, and we're not perfect, we're constantly mastering it, we're constantly living it even more fully, we will start seeing the ways in which things just start clicking. A level of clarity comes to us, and the things that limited us before start dissolving. All the limiting beliefs and thought patterns and perspectives start dissolving. Things start moving out of the way, and things start unfolding in a way that allows for us to live even more fully. And that's the power of sovereignty. And it's really intrinsic. It's innate to who we are as God's creations, as unique, perfect ideas of divine mind. So yeah, we wanted to just take a few moments and talk with you guys about this in a way that's very practical, in a way that is very simple. Because when we simplify life may not be easy, but it is very simple to live when you start understanding that life and the joy that we experience in life is as simple as making clear what we want out of it.
Yeah.
And
it's
the tools.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's cutting out a lot of that noise, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot
exactly.
of noise. There's a lot of things that are in our awareness that really don't need to be there. They're only there as distractions, right? We have so many distractions around, and we have to limit that. We have to limit it back to what we're focused on, what we're trying to achieve, and limit the noise. Because otherwise, if you stay within that zone of noise and distraction, you're never going to get there. You won't.
That's it.
And you will just be in this constant cycle of being unhappy with the life that you're living, feeling like you are only just existing, living from day to day with no purpose, with no passion. And that is certainly not a way to live the full potential that we have. We have so much potential, and it's as simple as just tuning into what you want, like you said. What do you really want? I think, my love, what would be some things that people could think about that could start helping in the process of discovering that for themselves?
Yeah. Get this. It's really as simple as being present in whatever situation or circumstance you find yourself in, and listening to the inner voice within you and asking that voice, how do I really think about this? How do I really feel about this? And what do I really want out of this? Those three things.
Also thinking that, feeling your body's response to that.
Because our body has an intelligence all its own that's tied to our subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And again, that ties back to the natural order of things. Our body is insanely intelligent.
Well,
it is even more intelligent.
Energy, isn't it, our body?
Yeah, it's a dynamo of energy, literally.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at certain graphs and charts by scientists that have documented the energy that literally radiates and blasts out of our body, we are walking dynamos of energy. And so when we become aware of that, and we feel our body's response to certain things, when we shrink or whether we expand, paying attention to the way that we feel, the way that we think about things will point us in the right direction. And it's really tying back to what Samantha said earlier. It's really all about trusting ourselves. When we begin trusting our inner voice and we start living out what our inner voice is trying to tell us, our own soul's warnings, so to speak, we will start living in a more sovereign state of mind and a sovereign state of being. And so, this episode, this edition of Truth Talk Tuesdays, we wanted to dedicate to an introduction to sovereignty, so to speak. There are so many things that we mentioned that we can dedicate entire episodes to. And we very much look forward to diving even deeper. Feel free to, in the comments, expressing what you would like for us to talk about, things that you would like for us to dive a bit deeper into when it comes to the subject of sovereignty and how we can manifest the results that we want in that particular area of our life. And so, yeah. With that being said, we'll wrap this episode up for now, and we very much look forward to diving deeper in the future regarding other elements of sovereignty that we can embody in our lives.
That's right. And so remember that you are the author of your story, the artist of your painting, and may you be inspired to create a masterpiece of a life tailored by your desires. And with that, we will leave you in truth, beauty, and love.
Yes. And until next time, thank you for tuning in.